Namaste everyone, pranams. Pranams to Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji and to all the pyramid masters and meditators. Welcome to the book club, PMC USA's book club. And this is week 2. We've been discussing on the book called You're the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. So we went over introduction and to the author and the book last week. So this week we will do chapter 2 and chapter 3. But before we do, I was thinking we can start with meditation today. So let's do 5 minutes meditation today and begin the book club session. So Sirish or Pushpa, are you guys going to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. So masters, close your eyes. Let's do some meditation, 5 minutes. Focus on your breath. Couple of deep breaths. Find your breath. Okay, masters, slowly open your eyes. All right, so yeah, that was nice. I wanted to see if any of the attendees wanted to discuss anything, and if let's make it a little bit more interactive compared to last session. I was thinking if we can do a little bit more interactive, it'll be good. So are there any participants who have read the book? Otherwise, it would be monotonous. Let me share my
Ask them to raise their hand so that we'll get to know.
Yeah. Please raise your hand so Pushpa and Sirisha can help us.
Yeah. If anybody have any questions from the chapter 1, please raise your hands. Or Radhika ji, if you want to give a quick recap.
Yeah.
As if they have not joined first session.
Yeah. So this is like, week 2, we are discussing about this book. So I wanted to go over, this is how we'll review. This is my agenda for this week. Pushpa, can you see my slides?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the agenda. I wanted to review from last week what we went over, and then recap about the book and the introduction and the author and why we should read this book, why it was written, how it came into. And then we will discuss briefly about the history of this placebo and the placebo effect in the brain. And then we'll end with Q&A. So all right. So first thing is, it is just an amazing book that you will ever find if you want to heal yourself. It's all about healing yourself for your health and, your body, mind. It is powerful book. Like you can, it will tell us how miraculously you can heal with just thought alone. So thoughts and then how you feel and how you connect with your body and mind, and you can heal diseases by yourself. So Dr. Joe Dispenza itself, whatever he went through in his life, he teaches. He had an amazing recovery from one of his surgeries. He did not go the medical route, like he did not get a surgery or anything, but he healed himself with the intelligence with the divine intelligence that he has within himself. So he was focusing on healing himself without any medical help, and it turned out to be unbelievable for him. So he was like, it was a incredible comeback for him. So, and then he continued with a lot of workshops, and he was really like seeing spontaneous remissions in his workshops. Like people with multiple sclerosis would just come up and walk, and then some people with tumors disappeared, some allergies, food allergies, they did not have any. So by the end of the workshop, he was seeing like immediately there were a lot of health benefits that the attendees were reporting. So that just kept him going, and he did more research, and he brought in the researchers and everybody into these sessions. And he was able to really see with the help of science how the brain was working, and how with the help of like energy field measurement tools, or he was doing brain mappings, image mappings of the brain. So they could see the effects of his workshop. Like basically he would make them meditate, and then he would be guiding them with all those sessions. He was seeing, like scientifically also, it was proven that the people were able to heal themselves. So these were some, and there were some, great stories that we discussed in the book one, where like a person with the tumor was healing himself, and then a person with depression, couple of depression cases. And then we also saw about voodoo curse. It is like negative effect. We will study about that today. Learn about it today. Nocebo effect. So let's write. Any questions before we get into the book? So I think if we can make it interactive, it's good. If you guys have anything, discussions, let's discuss, because it's a book club, and I hope you guys are reading the book with me. All right, so.
Yep, it's been posted in ATL group, I guess. So you can go ahead and read. So the chapter 1 is beautiful. Joe Dispenza, he himself tested on himself when he met an accident and he ran over by a truck, and he healed himself. So he started writing this book. I really, when I heard about this book very first, like the first chapter, what struck me is like it's pretty common that people would go into the depression, are going into a asking why me kind of a thing. But the way he has transformed himself is tremendous, and he is like bringing all this knowledge to us through this book. So yeah.
Yeah, that was, nice summary, Pushpa. Yeah, it was, very transformative for him. So, and then exactly, he wanted to share that information with the world. And so all of us can benefit. So let's get into chapter 2 and chapter 3 a little bit today, and then what he talks about in these chapters. So he explains about what the placebo effect is. So it's basically a fake treatment that you're giving somebody who, and then they are expecting that whatever they're taking will help them. So it could be a sugar pill or saline water injection or whatever. Just that thought itself, it doesn't matter what they're taking is good or bad. But the thought itself will make them feel better. So this is just a picture I got from the web. And also the placebo in Latin means I shall please. So, and it could be the real medicine or the fake one, but he already feels better as soon as you take that. So it is a function of how a thought can change the physiology within your body. So that is the placebo effect. So it could be either a drug or a real drug or a placebo, but what he thinks in that mind is, if it is the same, then the outcome will be the same. It doesn't matter what is going inside the body. So that's another picture. So if you believe it will affect you, it will. And if you don't believe, then it will not. And also you see the the percentage also is so much more. If you believe in it, it's like 85% or 75%, and it will. So, but if you don't think that, okay, this medicine will not work, then it will not work. If you think, oh, this treatment will work, it will work. It could be anything. So that's the belief is the main thing there. So, and then in the history, he talks about various cases where placebo was, they didn't call placebo that time. But Henry Beecher was a doctor, American doctor, and he was treating patients in World War II, where they ran out of the morphine. It's a painkiller. So he was really worried about the soldiers, how to treat them. And not accidentally, he gives like saline water injections, and he was really surprised to see the soldiers getting better even with the saline injection. So he continued that, and I think he later on published a book to let the world know that the placebo is more important than the actual drug or whatever is being administered, and how the soldiers recovered. And so, and then there's also Bible stories, many Bible stories, and in France and Portugal, where people had visions of Virgin Mary, and they've healed, like people just woke up from the wheelchair and they were walking. And so some things like that, paralysis were cured. So there were a lot of stories that also give an indication that this kind of placebo has worked before. And our own, like Satya Sai Baba, you all must know that the sacred ash or vibhuti that he produces, and the devotees, they either eat it or put it on their forehead, and it has healed many people, like either physically, mentally, or spiritually. So it is it that the, like, that person, or they're getting something from the external condition at the right time, at the right moment, at the right mind, and that just works for them. So that is what he talks about. That is also like a placebo. Again, Tibetan lamas also, they had healing powers with just breath and blowing on the sticks or something, and they were able to heal people. So like that, we have many cases in the history that in 1700s and 1800s, that before that also people have seen. So what if the internal state of mind of the people who received these cures was influenced or altered by the conditions in their external environment, either a person, a place, or a thing at the proper time, to such a degree that their new state of mind could actually affect real physical changes? So these external factors, if they were right for that person, and then that person has this new state of being, which could actually change the body, how it behaves, and how it heals. So any questions about this? Faith healing. Have you guys heard of anything where people have healed with just faith? Okay, so let's move on. So there's also like something called, there were some techniques that some people used, like magnetism with magnets. They were thinking, they believed that, so for example, this guy, this physician, Franz Anton Mesmer, Viennese person, he was healing people using magnets. And he was saying that he was balancing the fluids in them using those magnets and looking in their eyes, and then in the body, around the body, magnetic field he would alter, and then the person would be healed. And there was like another pianist or something who was blind, and he really helped that girl to even see colors and things like that. But later on there was some, the girl had to go back. It wasn't a success, but there were other cases where he was healing, and he called it animal magnetism. And Anton believed that power was in the practitioner. He was thinking that he was making the disease go away. And then there was this person, French aristocrat, Armand Mary Jacques D. Chastanet. He introduced, based on Anton Mesmer's technique, he called another thing called magnetic somnambulism. Here also, he would do the same thing, like he would look in the person's eyes and they would talk, and he would heal that person using magnets and the thought and his and then he thought that power was in the thought or the subject. So they both of them believed a little bit differently. And there was this James Braid, Scottish surgeon in 1800s. He developed concept called neurohypnotism, basically hypnotism. So this is also, again, like you can basically make that person go in trance, and you can make them believe whatever you say they will believe. And then once they come out of that trance, they will not remember anything, but you can, so it's basically getting into the subconscious of that person and healing. So that was, again, another interesting examples there. So any questions here? Have you guys heard about hypnotism?
Yeah, if any questions, feel free to raise your hands. Otherwise, I think Radhika ji, we are good to go.
Yeah. All right. So next I wanted to talk about. So as we called it as the placebo effect, it can also be, there can also be a nocebo effect. Nocebo means in Latin, I will harm. So the same thinking, if it is in one way, it can harm, and if it is in a positive way, it can help. So there's these different examples that I saw online that it'll give perfect examples of how it is in nocebo language, how it is in placebo language. So you can say you have 6 months to live, but then the other placebo language, you can say, oh, longevity can be increased by forming healthy habits. So it's kind of giving hope here, but there. And then the other one is yoni showing signs of wear and tear. But in placebo language, it is like exercise can improve physical function and helps keep the joint lubricated. So you can see that with the way you think and you talk also, the effect can change. It can be either positive or negative. If you remember the voodoo curse from the last week, so that person believes that the priest or somebody hexed him and cursed him that he will die. So he was believing that, and he was near death, that he really believed that he was going to die. And so that strong belief, even in negative thing, even if it is a negative thought and you have strong belief, that could still happen. So that's the difference between the placebo and nocebo effect. So there were certain case studies that Dr. Joe describes. So in Japan, there were about, I think, 13 children. They were very allergic, highly allergic to poison ivy plant. So what they did was they divided them into 2 groups, and one group, they gave the fake leaf, and they told them, they rubbed against their skin and they said that was poison ivy, and harmlessly. This was a harmless, but then they told them that it is poison ivy. And the other group, they said they gave the poison ivy, they rubbed with poison ivy, but they said that, oh, it was a harmless leaf. Nothing will happen to you. So 11 of 13 children developed no rash at all, where the poison had actually touched them. So how is this happening, right? So it's just that the children did not believe that it was, they did not think that it was actual poison ivy. So they were able to, the body did not react to it. So how is that physical change, physiological change within the body is happening because of that thought? There was another, it seemed as if the children's bodies instantaneously responded to a new mind. So because they were allergic, but still they did not have any reaction. So it was almost like they made up a new mind. They had a new mind, and then their body cooperated with that. So there was another asthma nocebo study where there were some 40 asthma patients, and they were again divided into two groups, and they were just given water vapor inhalers. One of them were told that one group was said that, they had an irritant or allergen in that inhaler. And the other one, they said that it was just, there wasn't anything. So both case, like the ones where they said there was allergen, people did have the asthma attack. They had breathing trouble, and they had, so, and then the other group, they were fine because it was, so it just said that whatever they believed, no, the other group actually, they were told that medicine would cause the effect, it will cause. The other one was, other group, they did not have anything and they did not react to it. So basically, we could see that their thoughts created a brand new reality. So within the body also, you're seeing the changes with just the way you're thinking. You think that, this inhaler has the allergen, so the airways closed and they could not breathe, and all their symptoms came back. So it's just amazing that how you can control your thoughts, and it can react, it can cause those reactions in your body. So he talks about some more studies where there were some groundbreaking studies where some of the researchers were able to see that actually human body can produce the chemicals or the drugs, the complicated drugs, naturally within the body. So like in one of the 1970s, there was a groundbreaking study where 40 dental patients of after wisdom tooth extraction, they were not given any drugs, but they were given placebos, and they were actually told that it was morphine. So they saw that the body created the endorphins, which is the painkiller, and the patients did not feel any pain. So what doctors did was they gave another drug to block the morphine or endorphin reaching the brain, and that time the patients had felt the pain. So it means that they were producing the endorphins, the body was producing, and they were not feeling any pain. So they were able to conclude that it was in their minds and their bodies and in their state of being. So they were able to produce their own natural pain relievers just by thinking itself, like that they're getting a morphine drug and they're feeling better. So even though it was placebo, they were feeling good. So there was another concept called this conditioning. Conditioning, it was an idea by this famous Russian physiologist, Ivan Pavlov. It depends on associating one thing with another. Like he associated his dogs by ringing the bell. He would give them the food. So it's like every day he did the same thing. So what happened was the minute they hear the bell, the dogs also salivate. That means in anticipation of food, you salivate, right? Like that. So they were conditioned, the mind was conditioned that, okay, as soon as you hear the bell, you know that food is coming. So what happens is the original stimulus that elicited the response, the food being present. So this external environmental stimulus in the environment, even without the original stimulus, that can elicit the response. So there might not be food, but still the dog is anticipating and the change has happened in the dog. So that's the conditioned response. So another one is in 1990s, Irving Krish studies on antidepressant drugs. Here there were like a couple of studies they did. One was about 2,300 patients, the other one was 5,000 patients. And in all cases, they were seeing that people who were given just placebo drugs, or they were given these popular antidepressant drugs like Prozac, FXR, Stizone, Paxil, almost like 81% of the time, the placebo patients were feeling better, even though they were getting just the placebo drug. So it was just amazing that they were not trying to prove that these antidepressant drugs were not working, because it was clearly better than the placebo in severely depressed patients. So, but then the researchers saw this as a half full kind of thing, because it was possible to heal without the antidepressant drugs. So it was kind of a proof that the placebos were succeeding. So I think later on this became like and in my own family, my sister, for many years, she had this depression, but she always fights back without the drugs. I know exactly, like, usually we communicate a lot, we chat, we call, everything, messages. So, but then when she's in depression, she would not talk to us, she would not do anything, any of these things. But sometimes we get so scared that we tell her, you should take medicine. But then she takes, sometimes she was taking, but then I think from past couple of times that she was very adamant. She was very positive, and she just came out of it just with meditation and satsang, reading books, everything. So I've seen myself in my life that placebo works for depression. So any questions so far? You guys want to discuss anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one point here.
Yeah.
So based on all of the examples here Radhika ji has given, right? Human body has its own pharmacy. So the studies, what Joe Dispenza talking about conditioning, when a stimulus can trigger the external stimuli. So why can't we, stimulate our own body? So it's like, we are looking at the food, and then the saliva, we are salivating in our own tongues. So that means these two are two different systems, right? So it's a great example. I feel like he's trying to bring in here to make understand for our logical minds. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, go ahead, Radhika ji.
So let's go ahead. So here, so it is clearly mind over matter. we have few more studies that we'll just review, and which will make it very clear for us that definitely our mind matters more than anything for your health. So in 2010, Ted Kupchak did a, like, IBS is like irritable bowel syndrome. He treated these patients with placebos, and in this case, it was little different experiment here. Here, the patients also knew that it was placebo. They didn't tell them that it is the IBS drug, but they told them that it is a placebo drug, but take it, you will feel better. And amazingly, they believed in it and they were feeling better. So they knew it was a placebo, but still they were able to heal. So that was like amazing. The placebos could relieve their symptoms, and believing in an outcome independent of the cause, their bodies were influenced to make it happen. So that was an amazing study. And in 2007, psychologists Alia Crum and Ellen Langer, involving 84 hotel maids. This was a perfect example for explaining about how you can, by how your mind thinks, your body reacts. So what happened was these hotel maids were interviewed, and half of them were told that, I mean, they agreed that they were not getting any physical exercise, or they're not working out, or they're not exercising. So what the psychologists told them, that the first group, they said, oh, did you know that by doing the service hotel, like whatever chores they do, cleaning and whatever things they do, you're actually burning calories, and you are making your health better. So they told them. The other group, they were not given any instructions, they continue. But later on, they found that the maids who were given this information, that they were burning more calories, they did lose a couple of pounds, even though they did not do any other exercise or whatever. Just by thinking that whatever they're doing is good thing and it's helping them, they lost weight. It was a great outcome that Alia and Ellen were surprised to see. And the other group, they did not see any difference, because they were not told about this fact or whatever. Another thing is like, this is called like stereotype threat. Like sometimes people say that, oh yeah, girls can perform, boys can perform better in math than girls. So this is like a stereotype thing. So in 2006, there were like some girls who were given this information that, oh yeah, boys will do better than girls, and the other half of the girls were not told anything, and they saw that in the second group, they did equally well. The girls did equally well with boys. So it was just that thought itself was making them get lesser score. There was another study also that Steele did, where he said there were blacks and whites in the control groups, and they were saying that for SAT aptitude tests, usually whites do better than blacks. And again, in the control group, so for some, they said this, they explained this stereotype that, oh yeah, blacks will not be able to do as well as whites and the other group. But 70 to 80% in the group where they were not told anything did well there. The blacks did really well there. Similarly, like when they had whites and Asian kids, they said that, oh, Asian kids do better in math than whites. And it actually happened. So the thoughts or what information they're processing was really making them do like that. So our awareness alone can have an important physical effect on our bodies and our health. So this was like, these studies were really eye-openers for this concept. It's like priming. You're priming them by saying that, oh yeah, girls will not be able to do well in math. So that is called the priming concept. When someone, someplace, or something in our environment triggers all sorts of associations that are hardwired into our brains, causing us to act in certain way without being conscious of what we are doing. So that's priming, actually. You're like making that brain think that way, in certain way, and it works that way by what you're thinking. So I'll pause here a little bit. Do we have any questions? Anything you guys want to share? We are going to the next chapter now. This is the placebo effect in the brain. This is chapter 3. I think we have 15 minutes more. Hopefully we'll be able to do. So here, the diagram, this is taken from the book. It shows like when there is a stimulus, it produces a physiological change called a response or reward. And the next picture, the 3.1b, shows that if you had the conditioned stimulus and with the stimulus, and you did it enough times, it will produce a response. So like how we saw in Pavlov's dog case, where, he had conditioned the dogs in such a way that whenever they heard the bell, they know there was food. So the response was there. So that is the conditioned stimulus. By repeating something oftentimes, it can work similar to stimulus. So in the third one, they removed the stimulus and there was only conditioned stimulus. So it shows that if you remove the stimulus and substitute a conditioned stimulus like a placebo, it can still produce the same physiological response. How amazing is that? So the more you believe in the cause, the better the effect. So that's the summary of this picture. And yeah, this is my favorite picture of all time. I always think about this, the placebo anatomy of a thought, where what is happening is every day you have about 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. And 90% of those thoughts are exactly the same ones we had the day before. We get up on the same side of the bed. We go through the same routine in the bathroom. We comb our hair in the same way, sit in the same chair. We eat the same breakfast, hold our mug in the same hand, drive the same route, the same job, do the same things. We know how to do so well with the same people who push the same emotional buttons every day. So, and then we hurry up and go home so that we can hurry up and check our email, so that we can hurry up and eat dinner, so that we can hurry up and watch our favorite TV shows, so that we can hurry up and brush our teeth in the same bedtime routine, so that we can hurry up and go to the bed at the same time, so that we can hurry up and do it all over again the next day. So that is our life. So if you're doing the same things every day, you will have the same reality. So that is the state of being. So it is, if it sounds as though I'm saying that we live a huge part of our lives on autopilot, that's actually exactly right. So we are on autopilot every day. So if you are expecting different things to happen, how can it happen when you're doing the same things? Everything is same, but you're expecting different outcome. That is not going to happen. So just read this again. Same thoughts, same choices, same actions and behaviors, same experiences, same feelings. All these are the drivers. It will be the same reality. It will be the old state of being. I mean, whatever state of being. How we create the same reality by thought alone. So conscious or unconscious process, it stays the same. The biology stays the same. So I actually think about this. Like after I read this book, sometimes I was thinking, okay, I wanted to do something different because if you want to feel something different, or if you expect something else to happen, you have to change what you're doing. So I think this picture inspired me a lot. So it made me think. So any questions for you guys? This is very powerful, I think. So a few more slides where he explains the same thing. So it's like your personality creates your personal reality. Personality becomes personal reality. So if you had in the past, you had the thoughts, actions, feelings, if they were same, you're the same personality. Or state of being is the old self. So if you wanted something new, like you wanted different personal reality, then you create it by doing these, thinking new, doing new actions, feeling differently. This is how you can create your future self. You can create your own reality. Just dwell on it and just read what the picture says here. Your personality is made up of how you think, act, and feel. It is your state of being. Therefore, your same thoughts, actions, and feelings will keep you enslaved in the same past personal reality. However, when you as a personality embrace new thoughts, actions, and feelings, you will inevitably create a new personal reality in your future. It's the same thing we explain here too. So you wanted the new reality, new state of being. So have new thoughts, create new choices, new actions and behaviors, new experiences, new feelings. So I think we have a couple of slides. Yeah, I think we can finish it. So how the brain works. So there is we have some things called neural networks. This is just all these are neurons connected by neural network. And if you think about these numbers, they're just amazing. 100,000 neurons can fit into the same space as a grain of sand, and we'll have more than 1 billion connections among them. And then there is, so when your neurorigidity is when you're thinking in the box. So if you're thinking always inside the box, see how these networks are activated in this, just in this small part. When you're thinking out of the box, you can see that those are activated everywhere. The neural networks are activated everywhere in the brain. So that is called neuroplasticity, neurorigidity and neuroplasticity. So our goal then needs to be thinking outside the box to make the brain fire in new ways. That's what having an open mind means, because whenever you make your brain work differently, You literally are changing your mind. So research shows that we use our brains, they grow, they change. So thanks to this neuroplasticity, that brain's ability to adapt and change when we when we learn new information. So crossing the river of change. So from familiar, predictable past, you cross the river of change, you change to go to this unfamiliar, unpredictable future. And that future can be yours. You can create however you want it. So you can make it beautiful. You can think about healing your body and living your life at best, and that can happen. So you can create. So the unknown is the only place where you can create. You cannot create anything new from the known. So you already know how the old self was, how the past was. If it was good, well and good. Predictable past. You're familiar with everything that happened. So if you wanted to change anything, so you can create. That's possible. So that's the book. Yeah. So you guys have any questions? We can end here in the last 5 minutes. We can just discuss. We'll go with the chapter 3 and 4 next week. Deepika, go ahead. Pushpa, she has her hand raised.
Yeah. Deepika, please unmute yourself.
She's my sister.
Oh, okay.
I was telling you, she heals by herself. Yeah, Deepu, do you have any questions? Unmute yourself. Well, it's not allowing her.
Okay, now it allowed.
Unmuted.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you. Thank you, Radhika. So well explained. So I don't feel like, I don't need to go back to book or read again to understand better. You explained it so well. Thank you so much for going through in detail and explaining case by case. It was wonderful. So this, when you asked about, the faith healing, I just remembered, thought came to me that usually in India, I don't know how about other parts, but in South India or Bangalore, where we grew up. So during those jaundies, when we used to go and get that something to be worn in the neck, like taita or something they call.
Right.
So usually they go with that treatment, usually for that jaundies. And we used to go to that, I don't know, some Muslims or somebody, they will hit with that, big, this one. And
tie on the hand and
they used to tie in the neck, on the hand or the leg or something like that.
And then you'll feel
so I remember that one. Faith healing. And when you were talking about hypnosis, we are going through Youth Forever book. So there also, Lop Sangrangpa has said, that self-hypnosis, he talks both about, hypnosis by the others and also by self. So self, he says that every day you need to go through that at least few minutes in a day. He says it's so important because it gives you that connection with the subconscious mind. And he says that it heals, and why you connect is just to get rid of bad habits and also gain access to subconscious mind and getting more powers or something like that, like getting connected with your own self, your own soul. So he says it is a must for all the meditators or people who want to change themselves. So it's for the better. And the last one, when you showed that create your own reality or new reality, so that video I remember very well. I used to again and again visit that video many times. It is there in YouTube also, I guess, that same thought, same thing. You create the same old thing and new one. So I used to see that many times. I remember that after seeing your slides. Yeah, it's that is what always Patricia refers you, right? Refers to miraculous thinking. Maybe all these things when I recall or recollect. So it will all come together like, miraculous thinking. He always says that's why. Not even negative or not even positive, but a miraculous thinking, anything is possible. So he's a live example of miraculous thinking. We started with one person and now thousands and thousands of people came into meditation, and also vegetarianism also is growing. So
all over the world.
Yeah, so thinking is what makes all the difference.
Yes, exactly. Perfect.
Yeah, very well done. So, and for people who are not aware, so when she was referring to the sister who was getting depression and curing, so it was me. So yeah, I'm happy that I was able to get rid of medication, and yeah, I'm good. I'm thankful for this meditation and Patricia and all the books and all the masters. Thank you so much. So it was wonderful. Thank you.
Hers is an excellent, inspiring journey for me. Ruchi, did you have a question? Or did you share anything?
I'm just wanted to say thank you for doing this book club. I recently found out about it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to join, and you are the placebo. I got the book from library also.
Oh, nice.
And I read a few chapters, and then it was time to return it. So I'm going to start again.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, we have learned in college also your placebo effect. And this name came in my meditation too. It's like so it's good. It's like a
connection.
good thing we are doing it. Yeah. And also I feel that, since coming into PMC, the personality, but you have to change your personality to change the personal reality. Right. I feel that it's very true. Since coming to PMC, I know personality definitely changed. And obviously personal reality also is changing. Not with satsang and book clubs and,
we create our reality. Yes.
Yes. Is there any mention of his guru in that book? Like who?
I did not find so far. I have read this book once, and now I'm going through for the discussions, but I don't remember. I think it might be one of the Indian gurus only.
Yeah, because I remember hearing somewhere that after he cured himself, he went to Nepal or Tibet or somewhere. Maybe Rampa was his guru. I don't know.
Yeah,
but he has to have had like a previous lifetime where he was a monk or something. Because how would you know?
Yeah, why he did not decide to go with the medical surgeries? Yeah, that's something that.
And just observe vertebra by vertebra and just heal himself. That he might have had like a past lifetime of already being done that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. There is a PDF, Ruchi. I don't know if you got the PDF.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I will go through that. Yes.
Yeah. All right. I think we're at the end of the.
One thing I wanted to add for session, if we can, read at a high level, we don't have to read completely, but at a glance, so we can just come over and start discussion on 3rd and 4th chapter, right, Radhika ji? Yeah.
Now we finished 2 and 3 today. We will do 4 and 5 next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Depending on how big they are, 4 and 5 maybe is good. We can do 4 and 5 next.
Okay. So next session, homework 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. Thank you everyone for your time.